In a big political development, Arvind Kejriwal has resigned as Chief Minister of Delhi, a post he has held for 9 years, and Atishi from the Aam Aadmi Party will take his place. Now remember, he made this shock announcement on Sunday, which is being called a massive political gamble by those who analyze politics in the country. He said he will resign in 2 days, and his plot twist came just after the Supreme Court granted him bail in the Delhi liquor scam. Now, here is why the Aam Aadmi Party's head, Arvind Kejriwal, has decided to take this massive gamble. But first, a quick background. Now, remember, Kejriwal and other Aam Aadmi Party leaders are accused of designing a liquor policy in Delhi a few years ago that favored interested parties in exchange for bribes or kickbacks, money that was allegedly used to help the Aam Aadmi Party win Punjab and Goa elections. This is what they were accused of, and several of them, including Arvind Kejriwal, was arrested. On Friday, the Supreme Court actually declared that keeping Kejriwal in jail violates his personal liberty, especially since the trial is likely to take years, and that is when Arvind Kejriwal was released from jail. But the bail that he was granted by the court had conditions. One, it stopped him from visiting the Chief Minister's office in the Delhi Secretariat. It stopped him from signing official files unless it was absolutely necessary. And even then, he needed the permission of Delhi's Lieutenant Governor. So effectively, it didn't give him too much room to function as the Chief Minister. Now remember, the Lieutenant Governor is appointed by the BJP, and he's the one who pushed for the investigation and arrest in this case. So with very little room to actually function, Kejriwal then played a complete left-of-field, announcement on Sunday when no one was expecting it. It was a very, sort of slow news day. And suddenly in the afternoon, there was this news that he had announced at the party office that he would, in fact, resign as Chief Minister, and he called for early elections in the state of Delhi. This is what he had said. He said, "I will not sit in the Chief Minister's chair and until the public delivers its verdict on whether or not Kejriwal is honest." It's interesting how politicians start referring to themselves in the third person. Now, Kejriwal also expressed his commitment to seeking the public mandate, calling it an Agni Pariksha, or a trial by fire. So if you look at the time he spent outside of jail, and this is interesting because he's such a shrewd politician, he was released from jail. He was then seen at a Hanuman temple visit. Now, remember, Lord Hanuman, he invokes regularly for Aam Aadmi Party politics. He then pitched a battle for his honesty, asking that the people of Delhi give him absolution. And he asked for this election to be brought forward. He effectively said, that every vote will be a certificate of his honesty and his innocence, saying, "Gunegar ya Imandar, Janta will decide." Now, here's the question of why he started doing this. Now, Kejriwal is very politically savvy, like I told you. And for those reporters who are tracking the people of Delhi on the ground before the big election that's scheduled for February, they say that in the bastis and the slums and the people who sort of access the facilities that the Delhi government has given in terms of free electricity, the great schooling that's, that Atishi incidentally has been in charge of, people in the bastis have a lot of sympathy for Kejriwal, saying that they're not allowing him to work and he really wants to do great work. But apparently the middle class in Delhi has lost its sheen for the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, this is a party that came to power on the platform of anti-corruption. After Anna Hazare's protests in the last several years, including 9 years as Chief Minister, apparently the middle class has lost their sheen for the party, and these corruption allegations, whether or not they get proven in court eventually, has done damage to the entire image of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, Arvind Kejriwal, like I said, called for the Delhi election to be held alongside Maharashtra in November this year, rather than February next year when it's scheduled to happen. But this is a decision for the Election Commission, and the Election Commission is unlikely to make a decision based on something that Arvind Kejriwal is going to ask for. Also, he has not dissolved his assembly, and even if he did want to do it, he'd need the LG's permission to do so. In his speech, he compared himself to Bhagat Singh and compared the BJP to the British colonial rule. So he's actually aiming, first of all, to change the narrative because he does know that he's fighting anti-incumbency and he's going to need a new narrative in this election. So he's tried to sort of hijack the narrative and change it completely, saying effectively, as Delhi goes to vote, they'll be voting of whether or not they're voting to say that Arvind Kejriwal is innocent. and not necessarily for the work that's being done or any of the things he's offered up till now. The second thing that he's aiming for is sympathy for unfair jailing, not just for him but all of his colleagues in his party. But like Nirja Chaudhary has pointed out in the Indian Express, sympathy will wear off over time, and the longer it takes for the election to be held, the less that will seem like a problem, because he'll be home and comfortable, and that's what people will think on his mind. But, we must remember that this resignation and him stepping away from the chief minister's seat might actually build him some sort of higher moral ground and more sympathy among the people of Delhi. In fact, one Aam Aadmi Party leader has been quoted by the Indian Express saying the resignation is important because of Kejriwal's image as someone who came to the forefront because of his promise to fight corruption. So this is what the Indian Express is quoting, saying once the entire narrative and propaganda around these corruption allegations and arrests have been going on for several months, even our own supporters are starting to believe there must be some truth in it. So Kejriwal has apparently a zero tolerance, for corruption at the core of his politics. And this is a step that's meant to reclaim that zero tolerance for corruption grounds. Now, Abhay Dubey, who is a professor at Delhi Center for Developing Society, says the move will have a significant impact on Delhi elections, whether they are held as Kejriwal demands now or in February itself. It will, of course, change the way these elections are held, because now Kejriwal has made it a referendum for himself rather than for, whatever the BJP is currently pushing forward. Aam Aadmi Party's Bharadwaj has said, many people may have seen politics, more politics than I have seen in the history of the world. This is the only chief minister who has resigned from his post, saying that if I'm honest, vote for me. Otherwise, don't vote for me. So what will happen really in terms of the Delhi elections? Well, it does change the narrative. It does put the Aam Aadmi Party in terms of the news cycle in the driver's seat. The BJP is reacting to it and saying effectively that this is just, this is just an attempt to sort of change the topic from the corruption of this party. But again, here, Arvind Kejriwal setting the agenda, the BJP having to respond to him. The BJP is, of course, a formidable opponent in Delhi for the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, Delhi tends to vote for Prime Minister Modi on national elections and votes for Arvind Kejriwal in the state elections. So can the BJP actually make that change? So, and win more votes? That's the important question to ask at this point. The third point is the Congress party that's been completely wiped out over the last two elections in Delhi, where it's largely been AAP versus BJP. Can the Congress party make any sort of dent at all in this election and win any seats and sort of re-establish itself in Delhi? That's the other question to ask. Aam Aadmi Party Minister Atishi, who is now Chief Minister Faye D'Souza, explained that the resignation is happening only after 2 days because there was an Eid holiday and there was a working day, and that's why he's doing it after 2 days. But there are several other people who speculate that this is more than that. September 17th, which is today, is the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 74th birthday. Kejriwal again will be hijacking the news cycle and making it about himself by resigning on specifically that day. Now, we do know, of course, that the Home Minister and other ministers from the BJP are spending the day talking about the work the Prime Minister has done and how hard he's been working on his birthday. But effectively, Kejriwal here will be sort of hijacking the news cycle all over again. The question to ask also is, why didn't Kejriwal resign when he was in jail? Now, he's explained that he's choosing to resign now rather than when he was in jail because he's choosing to save the democracy and resist the BJP's attempts to break the Aam Aadmi Party by purchasing MLAs or arresting other opposition chief ministers. So Arvind Kejriwal here playing his sort of trump card on, why he believes at this point resigning the way he has resigned will win him the next election. There is another backroom sort of rumor doing the rounds or question doing the rounds among journalists, which is basically now that Arvind Kejriwal is out of jail, it gives him time to actually campaign for the Haryana election. Now remember, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party do not have an alliance or an understanding in Haryana. They're contesting separately. So if the Aam Aadmi Party campaigns adequately and contests adequately, it will actually cut the Congress's votes in Haryana and not the BJP's votes. That's another angle to Arvind Kejriwal being out of jail quite quickly. Now, one of the party's spokesperson, Priyanka Hakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party, told Scroll that the court has given Kejriwal bail in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which itself is a rare thing, and he will go to the people and seek their blessings before taking back the Chief Minister's chair. In the meantime, Atishi Varlena will occupy that Chief Minister's chair. She becomes the third woman to be Delhi Chief Minister and the second woman right now to be Chief Minister across the country. Well, Mamata Banerjee is the only woman Chief Minister. After that, now Atishi will be the second one. So a really interesting contest now brewing in Delhi as the Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal is proving himself quite the opponent for the BJP. Do you think that he made the right decision by resigning? Leave me a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, of course, to like, share, subscribe, and sign up for our membership if you would please. It helps us run our team and do better work for you. Thank you for watching.